Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Arc. We missed last week. I was feeling a bit under the weather. Sully was busy too. But we are back this week. Don't worry, we will never leave. We are inevitable. And at least bi-weekly episodes, if not weekly episodes, will be coming. I'm again joined by Sully, as you can see. And things are starting to heat up in the NBA. We're about a quarter of the way in.
Now.
It's getting crazy. Mad things are happening. We got a big episode planned for today. But before we get into it, make sure you're liking and subscribing on the YouTube. Make sure that you're sharing it out on any other podcast platform. Make sure you're sharing it out on social media, all that good stuff.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, man. And, well, just before we get into it, Sully, how are we feeling today?
Dude, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Obviously, banging this episode out. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm ready for this one.
Yeah, we were in a bit of jeopardy. We've had to do some last minute adjustments. But don't worry, we are back. We will be getting it out on the Thursday, which is when we're recording it. So
we clutched up crazy for this one.
But I mean, I'd say as a Bulls fan, last night I'm coming off not much sleep. Last night I stayed up until 2:30 to watch the Bulls get blown out by the Cavs, which wasn't fun. But at least I'm not an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. Imagine, just you paid £6 for that game. Imagine you paid £6 for that game to watch your team get blown out by 73.
Imagine you paid for the tickets.
Oh, bro.
Imagine you're on the roster. Imagine you played that game. It's crazy. What would you even say once the game's done in the changing room? Like, what do you actually say to each other?
Let's retire. Anyway, if you guys didn't know, this happened a couple of weeks ago. The Memphis Grizzlies beat the Oklahoma City Thunder by 73 points, which is the record in the NBA. They've broken the record.
Their own record as well.
For the highest win margin in NBA history. And when your starters for the Memphis Grizzlies can only play 20 minutes because of how gone the game was at like halftime.
Ja wasn't even
playing.
Well,
oh man,
which is even more crazy.
I'm saying no one really put a monster number. Jaren Jackson dropped to 27. But other than that, no one was in 20 points.
Everyone just put
it's one of those games where everyone was just feeling it, and the Thunder defense. What were they on?
They weren't.
They were like that James Harden meme in the training camp. He was just holding his hands out. And the Memphis Grizzlies fans even having the audacity to shout defense towards the end of the game. They wanted a bigger margin. It didn't happen, unfortunately, but they're gonna have to settle for 73.
That's so. I remember when I woke up and saw that. I couldn't believe it. I thought there's no way. So I checked the NBA app and I was like, damn, that actually happened.
Are the Thunder in the bin, really?
Yeah, completely. They are. I mean, more than likely going to finish bottom of the conference, probably bottom of the league as well.
The draft pick team.
Yeah, but it clearly does not matter for them. They can have all the first draft picks in the world. Like, nobody even wants to go there. Like, who's going to actually train with them, like, during the off-season, while they're trying to draft players? Who's going to actually train with OKC?
No one.
No one's training with them.
Absolutely no one.
They're going to have to draft, like, one of the worst guys because the only person that's actually trained with them.
But anyway, you got to be thinking... For the Memphis Grizzlies as well. That's big for them. Without your star player to win by 73.
The thing is, Memphis right now are looking like a team that want to make playoffs.
4th in the conference at the moment.
And Ja has not been playing.
No. He's doing bits. I feel like the West at the moment, we're about 25 games into the season, like I said, it's starting to split into like sections.
Yeah.
And you've got the top 3 in the conference, maybe even like the top 2, and then Utah just kind of on its own little island, just playing basketball, enjoying themselves. And then you've got everyone below them. And Memphis, they're looking like they're going to be the best of the rest.
Memphis do. I mean, they lost last night, but the thing is, they're still like obviously every team loses a game here and there, but they are really looking like one of the only good teams at the moment that
Yeah,
are
definitely.
trying to get the wins.
Yeah,
Get and a lot of teams, like, especially when their big stars gone, they just lay down.
yeah,
Memphis are doing the complete opposite,
yeah,
and it's just so good to see. Like, you know, teams like obviously not defining themselves with their star player. Obviously, everyone says Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Now they can say the Memphis Grizzlies because they're proving themselves without their main guy.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, it just shows how stacked the West is.
Hundred
Like
percent,
you've got
100%.
Memphis, you've got Utah, who are just they're just a good regular season team, and then you've got
Yeah,
by far and away the two best teams in the NBA at the moment.
yeah. Oh, 100,000%.
Talk to me a little bit about Phoenix. Obviously, I think if we'd have actually got an episode out last week, we'd have been in the midst of a 17-game win streak. Obviously, it's been broken now,
Yeah,
but
but it would have been 17 because that was just after the Suns beat the Warriors.
yeah,
And then I think a few days later,
the Warriors got their revenge.
Warriors
Yeah,
beat them. But I mean, come on, 17 wins.
they didn't lose in
Damn,
November.
damn.
You got, but the thing is though, who are we putting this praise on the most? Are we putting it on Chris Paul or are we putting it
We
on?
have to. We have to.
But the thing is, are we putting it on Chris Paul? Or are we putting it on Devin? I feel Devin Booker is so underappreciated because obviously
Don't get me wrong.
Chris Paul's point
Obviously,
guard. He's a great
he
leader.
is. He is.
But the
And
fact is, I saw something the other day that was like James Harden's putting up better numbers stats wise than Chris Paul. Obviously, the game's not just about putting up stats,
yeah,
putting up numbers, but he's putting up better numbers, and people are saying this is James Harden's worst year. You know, he's flopping, he's useless. The Nets aren't going to win anything with him.
the
And then
thing is though,
on the
if
flip
you,
side, Chris Paul's like being hailed. He's the one that's been saying that he's in his 17th year. He's carrying the team, unlike LeBron.
I mean, if you don't watch the game at all, and you just focus on the numbers, yeah, fair enough. But when you watch the game and when you watch the guy, and you'll agree with me, Chris Paul, he has that aura about him. He's a leader as well as just putting up numbers.
Yeah,
That
and yeah,
Harden just isn't. He's not a leader. I mean, you saw it last night. He was the biggest name on the team and they got beat.
yeah, you're not wrong. But talk to me about that, especially the first Warriors Suns game. I feel like there's probably more to talk about in that one.
Oh, CP, that in that first game, he locked up Steph, man. He was
Steph Curry
had his
shot the
worst
worst shooting
of his
performance
whole career.
of his whole career. Which is mental to say.
That's the point guard.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
yeah, and
That's what the numbers won't show you. They'll show you
true.
that Steph had the worst night, but they won't show you he got locked up.
He got 5 steals that game.
That's the
He
man.
knows.
That's the man. I mean, and then obviously they got them back in the game after, but that's just like nobody expected the Warriors to get beat that. Like obviously the blowout wasn't big, but it was more about the way they beat them man to man.
Yeah,
Like they had every man under control. Like Steph, come on. It's literally impossible to lock up Steph, but they did it. Fair enough, they only did it for that one game, but it was a big game because if they
yeah.
lost that, then people would be saying, "Oh, the Warriors are the best team by far. The
Easy mark
Suns
for the
can't catch them."
championship. Maybe we're saying
Exactly.
now, are the Suns the biggest title threats to the Golden State Warriors?
For me right now, they are the the only major threat because I can't think of any team besides maybe the Bucks when they pick up because the Nets
Which they have been doing recently.
the Nets they only beat like teams that are very beatable, and even then sometimes they don't. Like I think they just pick up wins like that they're expected to, but when it
Yeah,
comes to an actual like a big game they just lay down, and that's why I don't think Nets are a title threat. I don't think you know Miami are as big as a threat as people think. I think they are, but at the same time they're very on and off.
same with the
Chicago
Bulls in my opinion.
Chicago could be, but like you said, like they lay down like in some games, and especially last night. Obviously, you saw.
Yeah, you
They,
feel that. Yeah, I was watching that game, and you do feel that we need. Obviously,
Demar's not in.
we were without Demar, we were without Kobe, we were without Patrick Williams, we were without
Caruso.
Caruso. But you've got to be able to have players that can step up. Because
Exactly.
we say we've got some of the best depth in the league. We got to
But they
show it
didn't
more.
show it. Yes, exactly.
They were locking us up. To be fair, like, I
Mm,
was watching it and I was like, I was getting really frustrated. Most definitely at Nikola
mm,
Vucevic. I'm going off a bit of a tangent here, but Jarrett Allen, I watched him last night and I watched him Sunday night against the Jazz.
yeah.
He's dangerous.
Mm.
He's dangerous.
He's been putting them up as well. He's been putting them up.
Like, genuinely, the franchise player in that team may be Colin Sexton. It may be Darius Garland. But I
But
think
he's the man.
Jarrett Allen could. He's
He's the man.
someone that has all star potential, and there's potential that he could even get there this year, in my opinion.
You reckon?
Yeah, especially in the East. Who did the East have other than Embiid for the center position?
True.
Bam, but Bam hasn't. Bam's been injured
True. As
recently.
well.
Jarrett's been
Yeah.
doing this for the whole season.
It's a fact.
Vucevic, he's been a bit dead this year.
He's been on and off.
Yeah, they don't. I won't be surprised if he ever got there.
I mean, you can see it happening, especially at the moment.
Yeah.
He just needs to keep it up with the consistency, and then he can probably, in the off season say, all right, last season who was your guy? It wasn't Colin Sexton or any of them guys. It was me. So how about give me that respect, give me that money, and then they'll start talking.
Yeah. Well, keeping with the West, coming off of that tangent, Golden State, they're 21-4. They're top of the conference. Today's the 9th of December. We are 16 days off of Christmas. That means there is potential that we're going to be seeing Klay Thompson back on the court in about 2 weeks.
Bro, I'm excited. I'm excited.
It's wraps for the league. You're saying our Phoenix credible title challengers, our Milwaukee credible title challengers, they will have to be on their best for 4 out of the 7 games that they play against Golden State, at least.
Klay.
And, they could even be on their best, and the star power that the Warriors have might just overpower them.
I mean, come on, look at the Warriors are overpowering everyone in the league right now. When Klay comes back, it's literally going to be the dynasty part 2.
It's mental.
It's,
How the hell have they gone for a rebuild and have made themselves title challengers yet again
with the same people in
the space of like 3 years? I can't lie. I'd even go as far to say is Steph, KD, and Klay, and Draymond, and Iguodala. Those were like, you look at the Golden State Warriors, you're thinking that team's good.
They were there 5 years ago when they won the first title.
But I'd say right now, the team that they have with the likes of Wiggins and Jordan Poole and James Wiseman and, the likes of all them, I'd say their team's probably
better.
Like depth-wise.
I think so too.
It doesn't have the star power that the 2016, 2015, 2016, 2017 Warriors had. But they have a lot of depth. With that comes inconsistency.
Of course.
Obviously.
But the thing is, the reason why I actually agree with you, I think this new squad's better is because they've got the youth. The other squad, it was just full of like vets or people who were coming up, like, Klay was coming up, Steph was already well known. And this new squad, it's got young guys who are like dying to get, their name out there. Obviously, for me, he's been getting a lot of praise as well. Clayton, he's been like amazing. Obviously, people have been praising him. Klay Thompson was loving him. And you can tell when you watch him play, he's one of those guys, he wants to get his name out there. And to work with, the likes of Steph, Draymond, Klay, Iguodala, that'll be amazing for them to build on their own character, and then to be in the squad that they're in right now is perfect. It's literally perfect for those young guys. They're seizing that opportunity so well. Like when you watch them play, especially like, when obviously the second round of guys come on and it's all just the young guys, they've got the like energy, and that's what you want to see in like a bunch of players that are trying to bring themselves up in an amazing team. That's what you want to see, and it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. They do still have the inconsistencies though. Like I said, they
Yeah,
lost to the Spurs the other night.
yeah, they did, and that was like, of course, you do expect them to win those type of games, but at the same time, they can't win every game, so
No, that's
they
true.
need to stay consistent,
Yeah,
especially if they want to like prove that they have, in my opinion, proved that they're worthy of the title, but they just need to keep it up because one little slip up for a team like the Warriors, and people are there, they're not ready,
yeah,
and they don't want to be that team. They don't want to fall into that trap either of laying down against the easy teams, and
yeah,
then, you know what I mean?
definitely. Moving on, to another team in the West. We're going to talk about the Lakers.
Oh, damn.
So, look again. If we'd have recorded this last week, we'd have been lambasting AD. We'd have been like, he's useless. He's a bit dead.
Yeah.
So, what were the stats? He was like, um, the worst efficiency player in the league on a certain amount of shots.
Um, I mean, I think it's a point you made in I think the first video of this season, the predictions, and you said that there's a lot of people, a lot of big people in one team, and I saw the LA Celtics game, and that game really, really told me that there's a lot of big players in one team
Yeah, I'm just
because,
looking at the box to score for that, and a lot of
like,
people are saying that it's the best game for the big three since they all came together. If you guys didn't know, LeBron hit a 30 piece, Russ hit 24 points, 11 assists. Sorry, AD hit 17 points, 16 boards.
the thing is though, as like truthfully, I saw that game and I don't know how LA won that game. I'm not gonna lie, they weren't playing that well, especially at the beginning. They picked it up towards the end and managed to get the win, but
Yeah,
a lot of that game was determined on LeBron. I'm not gonna lie, especially Westbrook. Westbrook hit a 3-pointer and danced like he just won the like NBA championship. Oh my days, it was hilarious. But it does prove when they come together and when they put their egos aside, they can win a game. Because at the beginning, you could tell Westbrook was trying to be Westbrook and LeBron was being LeBron, and AD thought, yeah, I'm still like the guy, and they were clashing. You could so clearly tell they were clashing.
yeah,
But then, as soon as they put that aside, Westbrook started to be the guy that he was, driving to the paint. LeBron picking up the ball, what he's doing. AD, like, just being that big man that he was. Then they managed to win the game, which a lot of people didn't even. Like, I didn't expect it. I thought Boston were going to come out with that game. JT was amazing, but it just proves that they can do it. It's just
yeah.
they let themselves get the better of them. Obviously, Westbrook still wants to be, the triple double king, and LeBron, obviously, he is LeBron, so he's allowed to have a bit of ego with him. And
Yeah.
AD has forgotten which, like, that there are more players, especially obviously Melo comes off the bench as well. Melo, like being the guy he is, the vet that he is, he likes to pick up the ball, shoot threes all the time. But once they put their egos aside and remember we're on a team, you can tell they play so amazing together.
Are we thinking that this could be a sign of things to come? Obviously,
No,
they haven't played since the Celtics game.
nah. To be honest, they're so inconsistent.
Yeah,
Like they, and ultimately, I just don't think they cannot put their ego aside for the whole rest of the season
yeah.
and for the playoffs,
It's the fact that
especially.
yeah.
You go,
Sorry.
no,
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 no. I was saying it's also the fact that they're putting up wins and big performances against teams in the East, and that's not what you
yeah,
need to be doing in the playoffs.
yeah, 100%.
They are
Because
6-8 in the West.
if they
Like when
get
the
to the
points playing
playoffs,
West.
you just know how it's going to be. There's going to be games where LeBron and AD and Westbrook and potentially Melo will want to take that last shot to win a
Yeah,
game, type
yeah.
of thing. And they're gonna clash. They're gonna clash. You will see it. Mark my words. You will. I can guarantee before the season ends, or if they make the playoffs, there will be a clear clash in the big guys in that team,
The
and it's gonna affect them.
thing is, though, if that Lakers team gets to the playoffs, no matter where they come in the standings, I can actually see them putting up a bit of a challenge. You know,
Hundred percent.
we saw last year. No one was expecting them to beat the Warriors. You know,
Hundred
everyone was
percent
like, this is Steph's
in the
game
plane.
in the
Yeah.
plane, and even then, you're looking, I'd say, maybe with AD fit, maybe they knock out the Suns. Maybe.
It could happen. That's the thing. That's one of them games that just whoever turns up on the night, because
Yeah.
like
And
if both teams are on their best, you expect LA to take it.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, if they have the star power, that if they are at the best, they can
Yeah,
take it.
100%. It's just about whether they can do that. And
Yeah.
if they make playoffs, I do see them going far. I don't see them winning the championship. But if they do, I'll be really surprised.
Yeah.
But like it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, like you said, we're a quarter way into the league now,
Yeah.
and they're still showing those signs of inconsistency, winning games here but then losing them there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe when it gets to like February time, we can revisit the conversation of will they make the playoffs.
Yeah. One team that is not being inconsistent at the moment is the Houston Rockets.
Damn. Yes.
Look, I said at the start of the season in my predictions, I predicted they'd be a little bit higher than bottom, and then they went like 1-16 in the first 17 games, and then it was just wraps for me. I was like, this ain't good. Someone's gonna be clowning me. Ever since then, they've won 7 in a row.
They've been picking it up. Like, I mean, they are still bottom three, but only by a couple of games.
You know, I
And
remember, I remember talking to you after they started their winning streak against us, against the Bulls,
yeah,
and I was like, bro, we lost to the Rockets. What is this? But hey, you're looking at it now. They're beating the Hornets, the Thunder again, the Pelicans, the Magic. You know, not great teams, but then they've beaten the Nets last night.
that's what. Yeah, that literally. If we recorded this yesterday, and we were talking about them, I can guarantee you, I would have said, yeah, but they need to be a big team. They need to be a big team. Yeah, they beat the Bulls, but that was ages ago. Since then, they've been beating small teams. But last night, they beat the Nets. Fair enough, no KD. If KD's on that team, they probably would have got smoked.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because, first of all, the Nets will still have that winning mentality. Obviously, they like to win a lot of games. James Harden was still on the team, and they beat them.
Yeah, exactly. And all of this since Jalen Green, the number 2 pick, got injured. Coincidence? I think not.
Not, I don't think so either, because this is what I was saying about a lot of this rookie year. A lot of them are not that good. I'll be so real; they're not that good, especially like
Your number 1 and 2 pick aren't great. I'm just relating it to last night's game. Evan Mobley was cooking the Bulls in the paint. I feel like he's very good against short teams, against short defenders. But then obviously I think it'll between him and Scotty Barnes for rookie of the year. It has to be. But anyway, Kit, carry on. What do you think?
No, but especially like 1 and 2, Cade Cunningham as well. They've got a lot of confidence.
It's the guards, yeah,
and they need to relax because you guys are still rookies. You're not at good teams, and they're not really, like they don't have the level. Fair enough, like basketball and other sports as well. You have to have confidence as well as skill. Their skill's not up there, so you can tell as soon as now he's out of the squad. The team, they don't need to, because they all have, the rest of them have the skill, they've got the experience, they know how to play basketball, and they don't need that, rookie confidence about, I need to be the man, I need to be the hero in this game, because they know what it's like. They've all been there, they've all done that, so they can just focus on winning games, and that's what they've been doing. And hopefully, he can see that and maybe learn from his team, because the last thing they want is for him to come back and they start losing games again.
But I think if they carry this up, they're 2.5 games back off of the play-in. You never know. They could make a surge. Like I said, the season is about 25 games in, but that don't mean we don't have a lot left.
100%. I mean, I think the Rockets making a play-in will be a successful season for them by far. Especially like a lot of people wrote them off. I know you didn't and stuff, but a lot of people like myself, we wrote them off from the jump. And for them to make a play-in, whether they win or lose, I think that'd just be like a success in itself.
Yeah, definitely. So they might not be on the rebuild, but one team that is and has declared that they're on a rebuild 25 games into the season is the Indiana Pacers. moving
crazy
over
to
to the
like.
East now. They're not even had too bad of a season either.
It's just at the in the like first quarter of the season, you don't start switching up your team.
No, but I think a lot of their players, a lot of their big players, out of contract at the end of the season. Maybe they're looking to
True.
get them gone quick. But they have come out and said that Caris LeVert, Demantis Sabonis, and Miles Turner are all available for trade. One thing that I'm questioning there: what's happening to Malcolm Brogdon? Are they kind of just shaping the team around him now?
I mean, it looks that way because there's nobody else they're going to shape the team around. But I don't understand why. I
No,
mean,
me neither.
it just
Because it's
doesn't make
a very
sense.
underrated core. Is that I think
It is.
obviously,
I mean, last night as well, they beat the Knicks last night.
yeah,
After it's been announced that they're on the rebuild, like surely, that's a sign of good players because they've just literally been told, okay, you guys are probably not going to play with us next year. That would, in other players or like kind of ordinary players, it'd get in their head and maybe they won't be able to perform. These guys just heard that news and then went out and beat New York.
yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
they were like, nah, we want to play.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the best player on that. Oh, my bad.
Pleasure.
Excuse me. Thank you. For me, the best player on that team is Miles Turner. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know why they traded him. Um,
That's a bit of an underrated. That's a bit of a bold prediction there. I'd say Sabonis is probably
nah,
the.
I think Miles Turner. He's a good center. I
He's
like him.
very. He's very underrated. I'd love him on the Bulls, but I don't think we could take him. But yeah,
I
Miles
mean, the
Turner
thing
very
is though,
underrated.
they're all some good players. So teams are gonna be looking. I
Yeah,
know definitely the 76ers will probably look for some sort of trade because I know like
we kept
they
Ben
want to
Simmons.
get Ben Simmons out. You think maybe Portland because Dame has kind of like you know
Yeah,
not like
we'll talk about that.
yeah, and maybe I don't know who else to be honest. And then you're looking at some of the smaller teams who need like bigger players. You're looking at the Pistons. You're looking at the Magic. Those kind of teams.
Yeah,
They want to get some players who have a bit more energy in their game. It's is it? I don't know if it's a smart move for Indiana, but it's definitely a good sign for the rest of the league if they want to
yeah,
get some nice players in there. There's your opportunity.
yeah. We'll see how that turns out. We'll see if anyone ends up getting
Mm.
traded before the deadline. But that, I think that wherever they go, whoever they get through, I think. Sorry, wherever the players go, I think it'll be as long as it's a good fit for them, they'll cook. Caris LeVert we saw before the Durant trade at the Nets.
Mm.
He was a good player,
He was.
and
He
I
was.
feel like I feel a bit bad for him that his time at the Pacers hasn't been great.
Yeah, you do have to feel for some of those players, especially like a lot of players who are good at one team and then after that they just start like declining. Um, Especially like you mentioned that Knicks Nets team, sorry, before KD or Kyrie or any of those guys, it was an entertaining team to watch. They weren't the best team, but
No,
they
but
were
it was
quite
like
entertaining.
very entertaining.
And obviously, I remember as well, you had D'Angelo in there as well. There were some good players, and they were really fun to watch. Especially against the smaller teams where they just, put up like nice dunks, nice threes, and stuff like that. It was fun to watch. Obviously, now it's just centered around KD and Harden and all the superstars, and it doesn't bring the same energy that those young guys did. And it is a shame to see that he couldn't bring the same energy to the Pacers. But maybe this is his opportunity as a player to find his groove again, and maybe be that guy we saw at the Nets. Could be.
Yeah, oh, obviously you'd hope so. Moving
Mm.
on. Sorry. So something else that happened a few days ago. The Toronto Raptors faced the Washington Wizards, and in that game, Pascal Siakam, he's been injured for quite a while.
Yeah.
He's come back over the last month or so, and he came back. He dropped probably his best night since he came back. He scored 31 points, got 6 rebounds, shot just under 50%, but very very good game from him.
Yeah.
Reporter asked him after the game, why'd you play so good, Pascal? And in response, he said, my brother has a kid, my niece. Yesterday I picked her up and she peed on me. I don't know, maybe it was that.
I saw that. I forgot about that until you just. I remember you sent that to me. Oh my days! It seems like these players are doing outrageous things, and it's helping them.
Look, first the Oreos. We
I mean,
didn't think
the
it could get
Oreos
any
weren't.
crazier than the
The
Oreos.
Oreos were just like a godly thing to do because I cannot lie to you. I've done Oreos in milk before. It does bang. I've not
Have you
been
tried being pissed on before?
not by a human.
No.
No,
Right.
no.
You is this what is this what everyone has to do to Pascal Siakam before a game?
You never know. You never know.
Look, and I bet if
Drake might have to step into that change. You never know.
If you guys are listening now, you've got to this bit. I was gonna put this on the title and thumbnail, but I really didn't know how to do it without getting demonetized. If I'm honest with you, like,
I mean, it would have been peak, but you know.
but yeah, I mean the Toronto Raptors have their new forward Spicy P.
Oh my days. I mean, I hope to God that he doesn't drop another 30 piece because we just know that he's going to be doing some crazy things before that game.
Well, they lost to the Thunder last night, and Siakam dropped 23 points, 11 rebounds. It's not as good, but it's still
maybe it was just a little dribble that day.
Maybe it wasn't enough. But yeah, the Raptors themselves haven't been doing that well. 12th in the conference, just above Indiana. Do we think that they're going to be able to turn it around?
No, I don't think so. I think once like Kyle Lowry left, it was kind of the nail in the coffin for those guys. I mean, Pascal Siakam, he's kept it real with them, to be honest. Which, it's nice to see players be loyal to their teams and stuff.
Same with Freddie VanVleet.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet, like, he's one of those guys. I don't know how he's still there. Yeah. Because for me, both of those guys are so much better than the Raptors right now. But maybe it's just the love of the sport, like, and the team. Like, the Raptors have an amazing.
Toronto are very good.
Base. They have an amazing fan base.
Yeah, and you never know. With apparently, reading the other day, apparently Canada have said that no one is allowed into Canada unless fully vaccinated. So that might help Toronto.
You never know.
There's probably a lot of basketball players out there who, like Kyrie, aren't vaccinated. Maybe not openly vaccinated, but if they're not allowed to come in, then Toronto get a home court advantage in any playoff game. They might sneak in because of this during the regular season, and then
I mean,
home court advantage.
I did see that as well, and I thought, to be honest, that could work well for them. But at the same time, it'll just be, I think it'll be one of those that it's just really peak when they go to the other, they go to other teams. And because let's say they face Miami, and let's just say a few of the big players at Miami aren't fully vaccinated. It just means when they go to Miami, it's ropes.
Yeah,
because they're going to have to get them back for that. And I just think the team's not strong enough, for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
They're not what they were. And I just don't see them picking it up.
Fair.
They need to have a good off-season next year.
Yeah, I get you. Moving on, and to the Milwaukee Bucks, who recently have signed Demarcus Cousins to their roster. The ring hoarder himself, even though he's never actually won a chip.
I know. It's crazy to think that he's not won a chip.
He's played.
It's crazy.
He played on the Warriors the year after the year after they won the title. The year after the Warriors won the title, Cousins signed with them for a year. The year after the Lakers won the title, DeMarcus signed with them for a year. And now the year after the Milwaukee Bucks have won the title, Demarcus has signed with them for the rest of the year.
It actually doesn't make sense because I saw that and I thought he would have at least one chip, but because then I thought about it. So he joined the Warriors, and it was the year the Raptors won. He got injured. I don't know if it was in the playoffs or before the playoffs, but I remember he got injured, and a lot of people was like, "Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be able to survive now against the Raptors." And then Clay and KD got injured, and then
Yeah.
obviously it all
Yeah.
happened. And then he went to LA, and he just didn't really play. I think he got injured again.
Yeah, he went to the Clippers, not the Lakers. My apologies.
Sorry, the Clippers. He went to the Clippers, and I think he just got like that was the same time I think Kawhi went. And
Yeah.
I remember thinking, yeah, yo, these guys, they're building a good squad.
It's such a
And
real shame for him though, like to see his fall from
yeah,
grace.
yeah,
He
because
was dropped. He
Boogie
was
was the
like an
guy.
all-star. Yeah, he was like one of the
Boogie
best
was the
centers in the
guy.
league back in his Sacramento and New Orleans days.
He was, yeah, he was amazing. So it is like, it's a shame to see that injuries do sometimes make the player.
Yeah.
And it's a shame to see a guy like him, a center like him, go down a bit. But you
Yeah.
never know. He's been performing semi okay for the Bucks right now. He's been
Yeah.
playing, which is a good
Well,
sign.
he's just been coming off the bench recently. He's dropped to 7, an 11, and a 7
Not
point
bad.
guys. You know,
From
for
the
a bench,
bench, from the bench, coming back playing games, it's not bad.
against
Hopefully,
tough teams as well. Charlotte,
yeah.
Miami, Cleveland, and Miami again.
I mean, he dropped 0 points against Miami,
Yeah.
which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's not the type of guy who, at the
No,
moment, you expect to be your like a source of points.
obviously
He's
not.
more,
But
mm,
he does give the Bucks that little bit added star power that
yeah,
you'd expect from a team like
and
that.
experience
Yeah,
as well.
definitely. Although never won a chip, so
Yeah.
everyone else is probably more experienced in the finals than him. So
I mean, it is good to see, and hopefully he can find his game again because that is the type of player that the Bucks may need. To give him a little extra push.
Yeah.
Because they slacking a little bit
Yeah.
like they weren't doing last year, and hopefully they can because Giannis and the Bucks are a good team when they're on the game.
You can't not really like the Bucks.
You can't. You literally can't. It's impossible not to like them. I remember when they won the chip. I wanted the Suns to win, but when they won, I was happy because Giannis was just so happy, and
Yeah.
him and Chris Middleton, and it was just so good to see.
Yeah. Anyway, finally, before we go through any predictions for the games this week, I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to say, but it wouldn't be an NBA season without Damian Lillard trade rumors.
Perfect
It
point.
happened at the start of the year. He squashed them, and now apparently it's come back again. The Portland Trailblazers go on a bad run, and all of a sudden Dame wants out. Everything's going wrong. CJ McCollum's the worst number 2 in NBA history. It's all gone wrong. But do we actually think that they might have some back into it? Obviously, Dame's come out recently again, like he always does, and says that he wants to stick it out at Portland.
I mean, he's clearly just saying it. I don't believe him. You just at the beginning, a couple of years ago when he was saying I want to stay, you believed him because they had a good team, and it was like prime time Dame, hitting game-winning shots, and then slowly the teams just declined, and with it he has too. But he's still got in his locker, and realistically, if you're Dame, you just look at yourself in the mirror and you think, I'm better than Portland. They're in the bottom of the conference right now. They're in the bottom 4 or bottom 5. That is not where you want to be if you're Damian Lillard. You do
No.
not want to be in the bottom 5.
Yeah, I mean Minnesota and Sacramento have better records than them at the moment.
That's not. See, if you're Dame, all-star Dame, one of the top point guards in the league, and you look at your team and they're in the bottom 5, he's not going to be happy with that.
No, definitely not.
And I've seen the biggest trade rumor I've seen is Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, it's weird. Things have come out and said that he wants to play with Ben Simmons and Aaron Gordon, which is not a sentence that I don't think any All-Star has ever said in the history of the
Any
NBA.
NBA player has ever said. Considering Joel Embiid said, I cannot play with this man anymore. I cannot play basketball with him. Maybe Dame just thinks he's like a wizard and who knows? I mean,
He has come out and said that he wants to play with Jaylen Brown though.
damn, that would be.
Tatum for Lillard, who says no? It's got to be the Celtics on it. Tatum's so
Yeah,
much younger.
of course, Celtics say no to that.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll just be like the one of them. They just try and get him anyway.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll be able to. They'll have to
'Cause-
give up all. Like after all of that, it'll just be Tatum, Brown, and Lillard, and then no one else. They'll have to bring Taco Fall back from the Cavs to play center. But anyway,
I mean, it would be a crazy trade though if he went to the
Yeah.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Like that could be the one for him, because a couple years ago when they were saying LA, I think he should have. If the deal was ever like brought up, I think that one should have been the one for him,
Yeah.
especially because they won the chip the year after or something.
yeah, they were.
But he's kind of
It's
and then they were saying the Bucks as well. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have definitely only added to their quality when they won the chip last year.
Yeah. But so to wrap that up, do you think he's going to leave by the end of the trade deadline?
Nah.
Neither do I.
Nah. If he does, that would be crazy. I think we'd jump on the come straight away. But but I mean, whatever happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Because truthfully, I'm not 100% sure. At this moment in time, I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think he will. I think he's going to be loyal to Portland for the rest of his career.
No, I think...
Or at least for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for the season, I can hear that one. But not for the rest of his career. I think that one's...
Fair. Well, that has been the last 2 weeks. For the last 2 weeks, we've also done predictions. The first week, obviously, we did in the video. The second week, we didn't release an episode, but we did do predictions together. And I'm not just gonna lie, I think we should just skip the a couple of weeks ago. You know, just
Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, just talk about last week.
I think that we shouldn't skip a couple of weeks ago.
Okay,
But
well,
I'll give it to you.
No, we'll quickly talk about it a few weeks ago. If you guys can remember, the Nets played the Celtics. He said that James Harden was going to come through with a triple-double. He didn't, but the Nets did win. So that's 1 point for you.
He was close.
The Bucks played the Nuggets. We both said Giannis was going to be the big baller. He came through. That's 2 points for each of us. We said in the Suns versus the Nets, I said that was going to be the game that the Suns were going to snap their winning streak. The Nets were going to come through. I said that KD was going to slim reaper all over them. You were like, nah, it's not happening. They're going to get through to the Warrior game. Booker's going to come through. He's going to do bits. And, well, you were right. 2 for you.
What can I say, man? What can I say?
And that put you at like 5-2 already, man. You were smoking it. The Heat then played the Bulls. I did not back my boys. You did. But I was right to not back my boys. I did say Jimmy Butler would do bits, though he didn't play. So, so that's just 1 point for me. That's 5-2. Which means that, you know, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at the moment. You said for Blazers versus Jazz, I said it was going to be a Dame 30 piece. It was not a Dame 30 piece.
No.
The Blazers didn't come through. The Jazz won. Obviously, you said that it was going to be a Bogdan Bogdanovic game. It wasn't. That's still a point for you, which means that you were 6-3 up. Which means that no matter what happened in the final game, I was just playing for pride and just to try not get embarrassed. And this, you know, I feel like, to me, if we recorded a video last week, I'd have been making a whole point of saying that this was better than any of the other games. You kept saying that I should back Steph. I was like, no. 1 week, I'm not going to back Steph. I'm going to carry on not backing Steph, and it's going to work. And it was the game where he shot his worst shooting percentage. And I also said that it was going to be DeAndre Ayton's game. It was DeAndre Ayton's game. So I made it respectable, but in the end, I did lose.
Made a little comeback.
I did. So that meant you were 2-0 up in predictions.
Mm.
You know, we came into this week's, well, last week's, being like you had a chance to go 3 up. I was panicking a little bit. I was like, this ain't it. But the 6 games last week, It's all changed now. Start off with we talked about the LA clash. We mentioned it earlier. We said that it was going to be a lake show, and it wasn't in the end.
I don't know that one.
She always has to, you know,
She's back again.
every time.
But anyway, we said it'd be a Lakers game. She's good. And the Clippers won. So that's no points for each of us. Next up, we had the 76ers versus the Hawks. I feel like a lot of the obviously no one else knows what the games were. I didn't actually release them, but you backed Trey a lot this week.
Yeah,
and
I
this
did.
time it didn't work.
I did. I was really let down.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's been proving everyone wrong. The one time I say, yeah, man, I'll jump on the Trey train, he said, shut your mouth.
The
I was
Sixers
a bit
came through.
disappointed.
And more importantly, Joel Embiid came through, which is who I said.
Joel, I mean, when you back the 76ers, who else do you point to? But
I
the
don't. Of course, man. But he's been doing the most recently as well.
He really has.
Next up, we had the Bucks versus the Heat. You're always backing Giannis. We both backed Giannis. But in the end, it actually wasn't Giannis that came through, but the Bucks still won. That's just 1 point.
It's a little surprise, to be fair. I mean, but he can't do it every game.
Bulls versus Nets was the big game. I know when to back my boys. Unlike last week, you backed my boys. I didn't back my boys. It came out good for me. This week, I backed my boys. You backed KD and the Nets. It didn't work. I backed Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine put up the numbers, and that put me up 5-1 with 2 games left.
It's the videos that we do. That's when I'm catching my dubs, because I'll catch this week as well. You see, if we ever miss a week and we do the
yeah, this is why. Okay, fair. But that meant because of how we predicted the Celtics versus the Lakers, I was coming through the dumb no matter what, because we both said that the Celtics were going to win. I said it was going to be a Schroeder game. You said it was going to be a JT game. JT did come through. He dropped 34, but the Lakers.
He was amazing that game. He was amazing.
And then finally, Hawks versus the Timberwolves. Just to get a little bit of pride back for yourself. You backed Trey again. This time it did work. So you hit a 2 there, but overall, I've come through with a dub.
Good enough.
It wasn't good enough for you. I've come through with my first dub of the year. It's 2-1, and I have a chance to level it up right now. So we have 5 games. Not 6 this time. I have 5 games. Not much is happening this week in terms of big games. But should we get talking through, starting with the Lakers versus the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
A game, like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies are doing the most at the moment. The Lakers are coming back. We're seeing the start of the big 3 doing bits again.
I mean, who are you backing?
I'm backing the Lakers. And I'm backing an AD comeback game.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm backing the Lakers, but I'm backing a Russell Westbrook to come through with some
no bricks.
Opposite. No bricks.
No bricks.
There will probably it's Westbrook, so let's be real. There will be some bricks, but not as many.
Fair.
Well, to be fair, I want to say LeBron, but I'm being optimistic.
Right, fair enough. Next up, Jazz versus the 76ers. Battle of the 2 regular season OP
Kings, literally.
But the Sixers haven't been doing that well this year. They dropped a little bit, but Embiid's come back. He's been doing the most, and that's who I'm backing to get a player of the game.
It's nice that you say that. I'm backing Jazz. Last time I backed him, he didn't come true. But I'm gonna back Bogdan again. I'm gonna just do it.
He loves a bit of Bogdan.
I don't mind, he likes to come true. Last time he didn't, but I'm saying this time, I think he'll do the most against Joel.
Pull through. Next up, Nets Hawks. Two big powerhouses in the East. As a Bulls fan, I'm wanting the Hawks to pull through, but I just can't see it happening.
I can't see it happening either, but...
And I've no idea how, KD missed last night's game. I'm not sure if it was to do with injury or if they were just benched him because it was the
That's
Rockets.
the thing. That's why I'm reluctant to pick on the Nets, just because if KD misses that game, then I'm certain the Hawks would probably come through with the dub.
I can fully see James Harden carrying that game anyway. So I'm
I
back.
mean, he couldn't even carry them against the Rockets. So for that, on the basis that I think KD won't play, I'll back the Hawks. And backed him twice last week. I'll pick him again, Mr. Young. I think he'll come through with a nice little 34 points.
Nice one. Penultimate game, Celtics versus the Suns. Is this a big game? Are the Celtics worthy of saying that this is a big game? I think they still are.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're just above the bottom five. Just above the bottom five.
I think this game's not going to do them much favors in getting a win in the win column.
Nah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna win.
No.
By I think it's gonna be a bit of a 30-point blowout as well. From real, I think
30 points. Jeez, okay.
I think it's gonna be a peak one because Suns are literally the best or second best team in the league right now. I think, and they take advantage of literally any team that is slipping. They take advantage. Look, Steph was slipping. They took advantage, and Celtics are not the Warriors. So I think it's going to be.
Well, I've gone with a D-Book masterclass.
I've gone with a point guard.
Fair. And then finally, Bucks versus the Knicks.
If this was a few weeks ago, I'd have maybe backed the Knicks, but they're just they slipped.
Yeah, me too. They've fallen a little bit.
They've fallen. They're in the bottom five. I'm back in the Bucks. I'm.
It's got to be honest as well.
It has to be, but I think for the sake of competition, I will pick on.
Demarcus Cousins.
No, I'll say a little bit of Drew.
Okay, a Drew Holiday masterclass. Well, I think, there's nothing stopping that from happening.
That's the thing. I mean, the Knicks are an on and off team this season right now, better than they have been in the past.
Yeah,
but I mean, a few weeks ago they were in the top 6, and now they're in the bottom 5. So I don't think Giannis are gonna be beaten by them.
Well, let's hope that I can pull through. I can get a streak going, and I can level things up in the predictions.
But well, I feel like this week will be a tie. We've said a lot of the same stuff, to be fair.
Fair. But anyway, this will conclude this week's episode of Beyond the Arc. Thank you once again, Sully, for being with me. I know you've had a massively busy schedule. So
listen, don't even. But guys, if you're watching this, if you made it this far, first thing I want to say is thank you. Second, I want you all to drop a little happy birthday in the comments for my boy right now. It's Sam's 18th birthday as we're speaking. Big up to the boy. Happy birthday to him. Please drop a little happy birthday. Man. If you're on the Instagram, little comment, DM, he will like it. Believe me. And as a little birthday present, why don't you go and share the video? Why don't you just do that? Just do that. Tell your friends.
I can't lie. I think, you've outroed that pretty perfectly.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
We will see you guys next week for another weekly roundup for the NBA. Peace.